Hello, all, and thanks for stopping by for this quick little recap from Challenge Puerto Varas. I unfortunately have a number of pictures, but not much video to throw into this to make it a little bit more entertaining. So I'll try to keep this short and sweet so you're not just staring at my ugly mug for too terribly long. Happy to have the season, 2023 season started. Starting it with a podium is never a bad thing either. Overall, happy with the way that the body was functioning. I didn't really know what to expect. It's been a little bit of a different build. I've made a lot of changes leading into this race, or I guess leading into the season, in terms of how I'm going about preparing. And so there's a little bit of unknown. If you would have asked me before the race how things would go, I would have said I would have a really, really good bike, and the swim and the run are a little bit of an unknown. And the way it turned out is I had a pretty good swim overall and a good run. Bike just wasn't quite there. So I guess I know what I need to work on leading into Ironman Texas. But overall, I guess the play-by-play, the bike or the swim started off fine. I got off to a terrible start. I got off the line. It was a beach start, and I was probably on the back straight away. Everybody else got a much better start than I did, which is not good at all. When I get to, it was a really shallow start. It was probably 200 meters of running before we actually got into deep enough water to swim in, just running it through ankle deep water. And I should definitely not be in the back of a longer run. But that's how it played out, and obviously something to work on there moving forward. But once we got in the water, I was able to just move up a little bit. I was sitting on the back of a pretty big group, or I guess a group of probably about 8 guys, 8 out of the 12 that were there. And after the first turn, maybe a couple hundred meters, I noticed that a gap of 2 had gone off the front. I was on the back, and so, that's what you get for hanging out in the back. There was nothing I could do to bridge the gap, but at that point I did go to the front of the group, or try to work my way to the front of the group, and got to the front right around the first turn mark, and I guess pulled for the rest of the group just to try to minimize the losses. I was feeling good about how it was going in the water, and felt comfortable, so didn't mind pushing there a little bit. I came out of the water about a minute 15 down from the guys up front, which in a 70.3, that's a gap that I'll take most of the time. I knew Tom was riding really well, and I knew I was going to have my work cut out for me. And so got off onto the bike and started working hard, a little bit harder than I guess I normally would. But when you're chasing, that's what you have to do. And, overall, the power, I was happy with the power. I haven't done as much riding outside as I typically would this time of the year, weather and everything. And so, I just didn't have the ability to hold a great aero position like I would really want to. And so the aero numbers were a little bit hurting me. So again, that's definitely something that will be addressed before Ironman Texas. Overall, I was happy with how the body worked on the bike, how the power was going, the power to heart rate, all that stuff. It's just I have to get the rest of the body in shape to hold the good aero position to make it all mean something. A little bit to work on there. There were definitely long stretches where the numbers were good. The drag numbers were good, and then when we look at things after the fact, there were some stretches where I'm probably not holding a very good head position. That really hurts you, and getting out of the bars a couple times on the way back into a headwind is definitely not going to help you either. So overall, body was functioning good, fitness was good, but definitely have some work to do there, just to I've really worked hard to dial in a great position, and it takes a little bit of time of riding in outdoors, especially in windy conditions, to be able to hold that. And so, I know where I need to really focus leading into the next block of races. Onto the run. Yeah, happy with how things went out. I guess I came in with a group of 3 guys, and I got off the bike with Luciano Taccone, and he's one of the guys that he can run pretty well. And so I went out pretty hard for the first lap. It was a 3-loop course, really hilly. There was 4 or 5 significant, or steep but short climbs, like 200 to 300 meters, but they were fairly steep. And so I worked those hard, especially on the first lap. Second lap settled in, and then third lap I did struggle a little bit to just find the stride at the top of the hills. Felt great going up, felt great on the flats and the downs. It was just finding, that recovery after the, kind of that punch up. So overall, the run fitness is there. So yeah, I was able to, I think I came off the bike or came out of T2 in 6th, and worked my way up to 3rd at the end of the start, or at the end of the first lap, and then took 2nd at the beginning of the final lap. So at that point, there was no catching Tom. He had a phenomenal day, and was hands down the strongest on the day. So congrats to him. Overall, again, you always want to win races, and this is wasn't, it was one that Tom was just stronger on the day. There's no doubts about that. So but overall, for everything I have building into a couple Ironmans early in the season, I'm happy with how the body was working and how everything went. So I left Challenge Puerto Varas again with a bunch of positives, and feeling good about where things are at. And then also have a few things that I need to work on and need to start addressing. And that's what I'll do here moving forward. I'll get a good 2-week block of training here back in Colorado. Coach Bottrell is going to come over from the UK and spend some time with me here. We'll just do some riding together, and both get fit together, and do some tinkering with the aero setup and stuff as well, just to make sure I'm fully optimized leading into the next block of races, which are generally flat and fast courses, but can be really windy. And so the way my numbers looked all 20 and 22 when the wind was calm, I can't ask for better numbers. I'm not holding a great position in the crosswinds, and so that's what we need to address is sorting that out. And then after that, I'll head to St. George for the final, or for the JD Crew training camp, and then that'll be kind of the final lead into Ironman Texas. So that's kind of what's on deck next. So yeah, I do need to, before I sign off, I do need to thank the challenge team and the Tri-Bike Chili and the QR Chili team. They really make us feel like family when we come down there. They treated us so well and just made it a great event. They brought us sightseeing on Monday morning before our flight took off, which I very rarely take the chance to do, and I'm very glad that I did. I've done this race twice now, and it's an absolutely beautiful venue, and definitely a race that if you're looking for a good experience race, it's one to put on your list. So other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.